Hey, welcome back to the Popcorn Perspective. It's your host Jay and AK. AK, how was this episode of Only Murders in the Building?
I love this episode, especially just the shooting style. I felt it was very interesting, very Tarantino-esque with the chapters they were doing throughout the episode. I thought it was visually beautiful and it fleshed out a lot of the smaller characters, which could lead into the bigger picture of who kills Sass. Overall, loved the episode. What did you think?
Yeah, I love the episode too. It kind of gave me paranormal activity
Hmm,
vibes.
I can see
All
that.
those hidden cams and stuff. We'll get that into it later. But yeah, I really liked it.
Overall,
It
your
was really different.
non-spoiler take though, where does this episode lean on for the season?
Uh, I'm a broken record. Another great episode by the writers of the
Another
show,
great,
man.
yeah, another great episode for another great season.
Yes.
So, moving into more spoilers, related stuff. Where or what exactly was your favorite part of this episode? Like, what was the, what did you learn so far from this episode? What have you learned?
Yeah, okay, cool. So if we back it up a little bit, this entire episode is kind of for the perspective of the brothers, sisters. Um, this episode actually reminded me of episode 7, season 1. And if we go back and watch that, the entire episode is based off the view of Theo, who, if you recall, he's the Demas' son, and he's
Ah,
deaf, I believe. So the entire episode is done quietly, and we only get actual meaningful dialogue like 20 minutes into the episode, which is super impressive. This
that's
episode,
actually, man, I forgot about that episode. I need to rewatch that. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
and that was one of the better episodes of the entire season. Like, it was a
Hmm,
solid season, season 1. I love it, but that was one of
yeah.
the better episodes.
No, that's a great point, and I wonder, have they done this before in any other seasons? Like a stylistic episode, like a unique episode that's very different from the rest. Have they done this every other season?
Honestly, I
I
don't
I want to
remember.
see. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
double check that because I
But
just
any of our
love.
viewers, definitely let us know
Yeah, let us know
which
below
episodes.
if there was, but no, that's very cool. I liked it. Yeah, so like you were saying, you were mentioning about like just the cameras you mentioned earlier. How so basically the brothers put hidden cameras in apparently everybody's room who was staying at the Arconia, who has potential, who has I guess impact on the movie itself because they want to study on every character or every person and how they react in this situation so they can properly direct their movie, which is a very sketchy thing to do.
It's a movie within a movie.
Very Abed from Communities. But
Great reference.
I love the idea, especially since so we learned from this episode the brothers professor was Dudanoff. So Dudanoff
Yeah.
has
And
connection
we
with
actually see
so many
Dudanoff.
people. Yeah, I felt like that was gonna be a bigger reveal. I felt like they kind of
Yeah,
just it was just in the background, like, oh yeah, that's Dudanoff out of Ray, which was interesting
I
for me,
know.
but it kind of ruins your theory about Sass and Dudanoff being the same.
Yeah, it does.
We can finally put that to rest. But what was your take on the life lesson that Dudanoff left the brothers? Always keep filming or something along those lines. That's
So those lines echoed louder towards the end because
hmm
that's when we got the reveal that they had cameras everywhere. Have those cameras captured something? How far back did they put those cameras? I would be really interested to see if they play a role in figuring out Dudanoff's death.
I think it does. I think without them knowing, because remember they placed all these cameras in on the night of the party. That's apparently because they said they came out there to scout the area and they wanted to see their old friend Dudanoff, which they have not seen in 3 years. Which means they must, and they said they also knew the password to his door, so they went into his room and he was not there. So that means they must have placed all these cameras right before the death or alongside the timing of the death, which means I have a feeling once they actually look back at the footage, they're gonna have the killer captured on film.
Now, that is true, but this episode or this season has already introduced us with double roles, people playing
hmm
twins, stuff like that. So that could still subvert certain expectations. I'll just
No,
warn
definitely.
on that.
No, no, definitely. But I think it would be pretty funny. Yet, it'd be more or less ironic if the brothers actually had it all filmed, but they haven't looked at the film yet because they've been recording this whole time. So it'd be kind of funny that this whole season we've been trying to investigate it, but it was literally in front of our faces, which is something they've done in previous seasons. Like the answer was in front of you, but we were overthinking it. So
Yep. And
obviously we
these are
don't know who
not the
this.
only cameras, right?
No, yeah, we have Howard walking around all episode with the camera filming the three main characters, because he is trying to film their lives just to see if he could find something, or if someone comes to hunt them or kill them, and later on in the episode he has it on camera. But
And there's another set of cameras. It is the set that is observing what they're doing. That's when they got the message, I'm watching you.
oh yeah, yeah. So whoever is the killer also has a set of cameras. So that
Yeah,
goes into
because the
three.
brothers
You're a
sisters were
treat.
like, ew, we would never record in 720.
Sorry, guys, we do.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to our recording equipment here.
Yeah, no. So there's and that plays off with the motif of the season. There's been like multiple motifs. There's been like the ham motif, and now we're moving into like the trio motif. We had the three, Charles, Mabel, and
Oliver?
Oliver. And we saw in the beginning of the season, Charles was the victim or was the target. This episode and the last episode, we know Oliver was apparently the target, and which means next is going to be Mabel. Mabel's in a couple episodes most likely is going to be the target. So we're still playing with threes. We had three different set of cameras. We have the brothers' camera, we have Howard's camera, we have the killer's camera. Where do you think all of these trios, these drops of threes, and the multiple killers and the multiple victims, where do you think this is all playing into?
Honestly, this season has me spinning. I have no idea. I have theories. I mean, that's our
Yeah,
show. We
yeah.
got theories, but man, I don't know.
Whew. Did we learn anything else that you wanted to mention?
Yes, we learned a big reveal: the potential death of Dudanoff and Saz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the detective comes back and she hands Charles the leftover, the remains of Saz after the investigation, including her collarbone, the metal collarbone. Apparently, there was two
And
left
Howard's dog
collarbones.
again. Find something, bro.
Yeah, Howard the dog is he the killer? Howard's dog.
Nah,
Howard
he's a
carried the
good boy.
body, the dog shot. No, no. But yeah, so there's two left collarbones, which obviously Saz wouldn't have two left. She would have a right and a left. So they suspect to be two bodies, and they came to the conclusion that it was Dudanov's, which is
Yep.
very interesting. That means the incinerator was used twice to burn Dudanov and Saz.
Hmm.
Why did Dudanov have a metal bone, collarbone?
I mean, he did mention it right in the one of the flashbacks where he was saying, "Oh yeah, my arm or like my body is starting to give up on me," kind of thing. So
Yeah, that is
he was a little
true.
older. It makes sense.
But he's just director, a guy who loves filming and like videotaping. He
Well,
really
you
needs.
carry a video camera 24/7, my guy,
That is
and then
true.
let me
Hey,
know
hey,
it
you
doesn't
know
hurt your
what?
shoulder.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I'm trying to read into it. Something I said earlier is probably looking further than we should, but yeah. And another thing we learned is everybody on the rest side of Diaconia all took classes with Dudanoff once upon a time,
Mhm.
and Dudanoff was a film teacher, professor. And who was in the brothers' first film?
Yeah, it was. What's his name? Vince.
Yeah, Vince Fish, One Eye Vince,
Yeah.
whose eye patch moved eyes, and that was
Yeah. Well, he has an
kind of
alibi. It's a hopping
yeah.
video
But the way
camera.
he said that sounded very sus. Every
I know.
time he's on screen, he's very
They
sus.
intentionally made Kumail Nanjiani and his character more sus than I think
Hmm.
they should have. but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. I love that scene though with Vince, and I always forget Kumal's character. I'm gonna call him Christmas Guy. I
Yeah,
can't remember
Christmas
his
guy.
name. Christmas Guy and Vince. I loved it when they're trying to fly the drone and they crashed it into Uma. Poor Uma. I love that lady.
Um, Also, that's another reveal. The window does open.
Oh, you are right. Well, this is the window for the everyone
Vince's.
else's. Yeah,
Wasn't
Vince's
this
room.
Vince's?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was Vince's. So we don't know much about Dudenov's as his window opens, right?
Yes, we don't. But remember Mabel in the second, or third episode,
Episode,
whatever, when she
yeah,
went to go
she did
see
say they were
it,
bolted,
there was bolted. But in this episode, we get the reveal. Hey, no, that they can't open it if they use
which is
force.
yeah, huh? That is interesting.
Yeah.
And we do know that Christmas Guy is jacked like no other, so he could easily lift it. But I think overall, I mean, that's all we've learned. Did you have anything
Yeah.
else that you wanted to mention on?
No, we see the gang running away from the Arconia,
Oh yeah, because they came to the conclusion that each one
potentially.
of them are potential victims and
Yeah,
targets.
yeah,
Yeah.
potentially finding a new place. Maybe they'll go upstate New York. We can see a beautiful side of New York, maybe.
Do you know what happens? Have you heard? Have you seen the casting spoilers?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Uh, I'm not going to say nothing unless you want me to. It's
Well,
a casting. It's just who's going to be in.
I think our commenters and our audience want to know. What say the internet?
Well, I mean, it's next week's episode, so we won't know till next week. So I guess I'll let you continue rating. But I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm optimistically curious to see how they play it off because
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to say anything
Okay.
further until next week episode. If it even is next week, it could be two more episodes down the road. Who knows? It could be the last episode, but I don't think it's gonna be that. But anyways, okay, on to I guess the fun part of our episode here: theories. We definitely have a lot
Okay.
of new theories opening up here.
Yep. Yep.
What's
Yep. Yep.
what theory caught your eye? What have you pieced together?
Okay. So my primary is still Marshall for killing Saz. And if you want to know why, definitely watch last
Mhm.
episode. But the Dudinoff killing, I do think it's from the people of the West Wing. And the reason for that is rent control. My assumption or that Dudinov maybe wanted to start cashing into his property, start making a bit more money. And these guys don't want that to happen. So they would go ahead and eliminate him, therefore it'll keep the rent controlled. And they kept cashing in his checks. So
And Christmas Guy and Vince seemed very surprised when Charles said that Dudenoff was spotted in New York at the bank.
yes.
They were very surprised about that. How long do you think Dudenoff has been dead for? Do you think Dudenoff has been dead for just a couple of
Dude, I
weeks,
mean, he's been missing
a
for what, three
month?
years? No one has really seen him, so I
Well, the
wouldn't
only
know.
person we've heard from 3 years was the brothers. They said they have not seen him in 3 years, but
Yeah.
that does not mean the other West Side has not.
But
And it kind
how
of,
can we trust that?
but that's what I'm thinking. Now we're actually looking at the bigger picture. We do know Saz was investigating something. Saz wanted to tell Charles something. Maybe Saz was trying to give Charles a new story. Hey, I had an old friend named Dudenoff who lived in his apartment and he went missing and I presume him to be dead. And she had
Do you
a
think
mortar
Saz was
board.
a student of Dudinov?
I think so.
That would be
I
interesting.
because she knows she knows who Dudenoff is because she wrote on her death board on the board that she was like
Hmm.
marking and like doing her theories on. Why would she know everything about Dudenoff? She knew the apartment number. She knew how to get into the
Yeah.
apartment. She knew the
She knew the
name.
game. Oh hell.
Yeah, she knew everything that you would expect someone who is investigating the murder of their friend. Something very much that Charles is doing right now for Saz.
Huh. That's actually a really interesting theory. I like that.
And maybe she had an idea that the West Wing people were onto it, and that's why the West Wing people assassinated her.
Also, why did they cross out the picture? That part still gets me. Like, why cross out the person who's pictured with them?
because they killed her. They killed Sass, the rest people.
I don't think they kill Saz.
The more I watch it, the more I just do not trust anybody from the rest side. And I think it was a group effort. I think Christmas guy, Vince, the three, the wife, husband, and the daughter.
Mhm.
I think all seven of them are in on this together. And I think after they realized that Saz found out about Dudanov's death and there was investigating and close, they invited her over to the west side, or at least to the Arconia, to potentially celebrate Charles's movie and have a way to kill her.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Uh,
That's my new theory. I know it
I
was once upon a time on the Scott Bakula theory, but now I'm grouping all of the rest side. I'm grouping it as a apartment side like suspect.
yeah, no, that would actually make a very good theory. I'm still on the thing that don't. I think Saz's death and Duna's death were separate motives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only theory I have. Like the only big theory that I kind of like throughout the whole episode, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on with this. I know I mentioned the second theory I had earlier is what if the brothers caught the killer on tape, but they have not seen it just yet because they have not gone
yeah.
back and watched it. So those are my two big theories. Did you have any other theories that you wanted to mention? And
No, no, I think that was it.
yeah,
I
I
know
mean,
we
I
have a
like your
commentator. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, no. I was gonna say I like your theory there about the rent control. That seems very interesting. That seems
Yeah,
something that people from New York will probably
someone would kill
do.
for it. Yeah.
I mean, hell, I would probably no, no FBI. I'm not doing nothing. Yeah, but you were talking about the our commenter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we appreciate all the love we're getting, and we got a commentator who. Thank you for your dedication. You went through a lot of our videos commenting. So we've compiled a few of the theories that you have, and we just want to give you a shout out. And yeah, AK, go for it.
Yeah. P.S. I love you, 1964. Thank you so much for the comment. One that kind of stood out to me was she mentioned that Christmas guy Rudy, that's his name, has two deer heads. In his apartment, which means to imply that he's a hunter, which means he should be proficient enough with the rifle. So that's a pretty good theory, or at least something to catch on, because I didn't catch the fact that he had two deer heads, which is kind of suspect. If he had two deer heads, he had the rifle over his fireplace, and he's a big buff guy, so a lot of things could lead up to whether he had the mortar weapon. Like he might have a rifle in the apartment that was used for the killing. Whether it's him or not, it's something that we could look into.
That's true. Could those deer heads be a red herring? Could it be
Hundred
that
percent.
he's just a Christmas dude and he just has mannequin reindeer heads?
That
I don't know.
seems like it would be a dumb idea. Like you're a Christmas guy. Why are you gonna be having Rudolph the Red Nose on plastered on your wall? But
I mean, he hates Christmas.
now she did. P.S. I love you. 1964. She did actually add a suspect to
hmm
bring up here. Do you remember from season one? I know you're rewatching season one. I actually, after Retro Comment, had to do a whole entire deep dive into
Yes, yes, he did.
who Cookie was. But do you remember Cookie, Charles's ex, that was briefly mentioned in season one?
Yeah, so initially no, but yes, it is a ex of Charles and Saz.
Yeah. And who's the other time we've seen Charles and Sass share a ex? Jan. And
The most
everyone,
stable person in the show.
and all the cops and all that are already suspecting Jan to be the suspect or
Mhm.
the person who did the killings. And P.S. I Love You made a good point. Cookie should be on the mortarboard as a suspect because Cookie left Charles for Sass, and we don't know what happened in between the whole situation. But the fact that this happened twice, and the fact that that's kind of kind of an interesting, I guess, person to bring brought up because we haven't really heard much of Cookie since season one, but it is someone that connected both of them once upon a time as well. So that's a very interesting person to put on it. I'll put that like as an asterisk because I don't know much
Mhm.
about Cookie to uh endorse your theory, but I do like it.
Yeah, yeah, totally get it. And I know she also mentioned that Saz wouldn't put Charles through this heartache, which I definitely agree with. I don't think Saz will fake her death, especially knowing the pain and the mental hurdles that Charles has overcome.
It does make me sad because I just love that character and obviously love the actress. So I'm like, if she can fake her death, even if she puts Charles to all of this bullshit, and
For good
as
reason.
much as much as I hate her for doing that, I can't hate Saspataki.
Yeah, Saz is awesome.
Um, and P.S. I Love You 1964 also mentioned something that if you've seen our previous episodes, you know I'm big on this as a suspect. You want to take it away, Jay? What did she say?
Yeah, so apparently Scott Bakula is mentioned in every single season. So this season, probably they were just able to show him more.
Now we're in Hollywood, we can actually bring him in, but
Yeah.
coincidence or killer? Like I said,
It starts with the same letter.
no, I'm kind of backing out on the Scott Bakula as the the suspect. Though I'm not going to throw it out completely.
Mhm.
It's low on my list. I'm high on your Marshall theory. I'm still high on the West Wing as a whole. Potentially the brothers is still a question mark, and same as Scott. Scott's like an asterisk along with Cookie. Both of them have an asterisk. Just maybe I could see it, but
Mhm.
I need more from both Cookie and Scott to make a proper
Yeah,
theory on them.
I definitely agree. I know we have a lot more other theories that you can definitely go argue and prove us wrong on in our previous episodes, but definitely
We're
let
not the
us know what you guys
smartest,
are
but we
thinking.
try.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely let
Um,
us know what you're thinking.
yeah, let us know down below. Is there anything that you want us to like focus on next week's episode? Is there a better structure that you guys like? Do you like this just going off the top of our head, just winging it and having fun with it? Let us know down below. Who do you think is the number one suspect? Any last thoughts, Jay?
No, that's it for me.
Awesome. All right, you guys. This has been the Balkan Perspective signing out.
All right, peace.